Greetings, guys. Welcome to another episode of CEO Chatter Live. I'm your hostess, the award-winning editor-in-chief of Swagger Magazine, Fancy, and I'm excited to get back to you all because I know that last week we didn't have a broadcast, but and if you all happen to have missed us, you can always catch the replays on the Facebook page, and then you can also tune into the podcast on all of your favorite podcast listening platforms. So that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and several others. I said iHeartRadio. I don't know. I got to get back into speaking with you all again because it seems like I've been on an extremely long break when it was only a week. However, it's been a busy week, so here we are. And today I have a special guest. I'm going to bring her in just a minute, but I want to take a minute and acknowledge our sponsor for this week, which is Emmett Dream brand. For those who are unfamiliar with the brand, it is a hair, skin, and body brand. These are two of their products. I have their Sunshine Glow body lotion, and then I also have the Sunshine Bath and shower gel. So you guys can check them out at, and I just remember what I did not put on here, guys, was their website. So let me do that so I can share it with you guys so you all can check them out. But it's Emmett Dream Brand, IMATDREAMBRAN.com. So you guys can check them out and shop with them. The CEO of the brand, or as I should say, the chief curator, is Tammy Curry, and Tammy Curry has been on the podcast with us several times. And actually, y'all, let me correct that. It's emmettdream.com. So let me put that in the banner. And 1 second. See, you go away for a week and it's like you've been gone for a year or something. But you guys can check them out there. That's Emmett Dream brand, emmettdream.com. And I still keep saying it wrong. IMATDREAM.com. It's where you all can visit them. And now I'm going to go ahead on and bring in our guest, Miss Connie Marple. But before I do that, let me tell you all who Connie is before we bring her in. Aside from being one of our Swagger partners, you all may see her posted a lot on our Facebook page as well as her content. But Connie is the founder and owner of Women of Color New York, which is a collaboration of 10 women of color doing business together. After retiring from dentistry, where she worked as a dental hygienist for 25 years, Connie Marple decided to reinvent herself, returned back to school, and received her bachelor's degree in fashion design from Buffalo State College in December 2020 during the pandemic. She then launched Women of Color New York in August 2021. While businesses were closing their doors, Connie pushed one door open and brought a group of business women with her. So I'm excited to have Connie with us today. Let me bring her in now. Oh, let me change this. Hey, Connie, how are you doing?
I'm good, Fancy. How are you?
I'm good. It's a Monday, so it seems like I'm kind of trying to get into the week, but I'm making it through.
You're
So
doing it.
much. Thank you so much for being one of our Swagger partners. First off, and then also I just love what you're doing with these other women and how you've been able to, just bring everybody together. But we're going to go into that in just a minute. But before we do that, I always like for our guests to share a little bit about who they are and what they do. So can you tell us a little about who you are and what you do?
Okay. My name is Connie Marple. I am the founder and owner, like you said, of Women of Color New York, where we have 10 women of color doing business under one umbrella. So I'm usually right now, today not, but in the boutique part of Women of Color New York. I did retire, like you said, out of dentistry. I've always wanted to do something in fashion. So reinvented myself, like you said, went back to school during the pandemic, graduated, and then launched Women of Color New York in August of 2021.
Got it. So I love what you all are doing because I think it's always great when we can not only, bring ourselves into a situation, but also be able to bring others into that situation, like elevate others along with us. And so that seems like what Women of Color New York is doing.
Yeah.
So tell us more though about what it is exactly. I know that it's 10 brands,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. All women of color. Well, I when I was founding this, just kind of writing things down, I put pen to paper during the COVID. So I was sitting on this idea for years, almost 5 years before it even launched. So because it was COVID, everybody was in their house. I put pen to paper, I wrote down the pillars of Women of Color New York. First, I named her. So that's how we came up with the name Women of Color New York, just kind of pondering around, thinking about what this was going to be. And her name explains it all, I think, to most people. But just started writing some things down, getting some ideas. I know I wanted fashion in there because I had just finished my fashion degree. I know I wanted beauty in there, wellness. We added some arts. We have self care, dessert bar and bistro. So the 10 women that are under the umbrella also do services. So we have some products and we also have services. We have an esthetician, a doula. We do teeth whitening and lashes. We have a makeup artist and also a mental health therapist.
Wow. So y'all got everything on lock. Sounds like it.
We
So
try.
is it and it's an actual physical location? Are the services being provided in the location as well?
That's right. So we're located at 539 South Avenue in Rochester, New York, 14620. So we are a brick and mortar brand, but most of the businesses also have online stores. So they didn't have brick and mortar. So it was an opportunity for them to actually be able to come into a place, into a space where people could come and smell and touch and ask questions about their brand. So yeah, so we are brick and mortar. We have 4 beauty suites where the services are provided.
Oh wow, that is so cool. I just love this idea, because we're always talking about lifting as we climb, but this is like the perfect example of that.
Mm.
So now with the products and so on, uh are those people like are they actually in the store every day, or is it more like kind of like a consignment sort of deal, or how does that work?
Sometimes they're there, especially if we have events, but most of the times they're not there. We have educators. We've got a couple, I want to say 3 of the business owners are actually educators. We have one of our business owner. She actually works as a nurse. So we've got different walks and they do different things. So I'm there every day though. So our business is open. The boutique's open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5. And then our bistro, Shayla J's Dessert Bar and Bistro, which is located through French doors that we created. She's there Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 10 to 3. So I'm there every day, and so is Shayla. So sometimes the business owners do come by, like I said, if we have events or things like that. But for the most part, I'm there. So what happens is, especially if you're new, and sometimes I can tell the way that people are moving around if they're new, I introduce. So every business gets an introduction when people come into Women of Color New York, even if they're not even in the building.
Wow, that's really cool. So now I have to ask, being that you spent 25 years in as a dental hygienist, like what was that pivot like for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think I pivoted twice. I actually started school right out of high school. I started a fashion degree, and then life started happening. I went to work for a bank. They actually laid our whole department off, and then I went to school, a trade school for dental assisting. So I was a dental assistant first, did that for 2 years, went back to school, became a hygienist, and that's kind of how I kind of fell into dentistry. It wasn't, if you asked me when I was 8 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? It would have probably been something in fashion. I fell into dentistry and it was good to me, but it was never my passion. So I just found this opportunity. Things got quieted down because things are bouncing around because of COVID. And I found that time to be a good time to, my children are all adults. I have adult children. And it was a time that I could actually go and do something that I wanted to do. So going into dentistry was never on the radar, but fashion was always, and I'm glad I got an opportunity to return to something that I really love.
That makes sense. And I'm glad that you were able to do that too, especially like I believe in pursuing our dreams. So it
Yes.
sounds like, your dream was delayed but not denied, and here
That's
you
right.
are.
Yes.
So would
Yes.
you say that there were any skills that you like you learned this in dentistry, or that you took away from dentistry and you were able to transfer it over into Women of Color New York?
Absolutely. You have to have really great interpersonal communication skills when you're in dentistry because you're always one on one with your patients. So I think taking that into Women of Color New York, and talking to customer, having customer service, you got to have that. I think sometimes we're lacking that because we do business differently, like online. So you're really not getting that one-on-one with your customers a lot. But taking that skill of one-on-one, being able to talk to people, answer questions, because people want to know how to floss their teeth, right? So you got to demonstrate that and be able to explain how to have great hygiene. So I think a lot of one-on-ones, because I find that I'm getting that a lot. Even if the store has multiple people in it, I could have a serious one-on-one conversation briefly, but with someone to explain to them what Women of Color New York is.
That makes sense. And then it also, especially since like normally whenever we have that one-on-one interaction with our customers and clients, that always kind of brings in more, like
Hmm.
it helps to make the experience more personable as
Yes,
opposed to it just being like, hey, buy this, you know what I
yes,
mean? So
yes.
it's really great that I never thought about that with dentistry and the one-on-one. My daughter, my oldest daughter, was actually planning to be a dental hygienist, but she just switched her major to nursing. I was
Okay,
kind of wondering how she was gonna do though, because I was just like, you don't even like touching people, so how are you gonna be in someone's mouth? But
right. And it's serious business because you don't think about that. I mean, I graduated a long time ago, but we had a lot of people drop that class, drop the course because, you don't think about, you got the things in people's mouths, right? You got odor, you got teeth, you got saliva, you got blood, and you don't think about those things. But when you come around to having to actually do it, even on each other as students, yeah, it doesn't take very long to figure out, this may not be the thing for me. But it was fine for me because I had done dental assisting first, and it was a
mhm.
place that I was actually found myself comfortable. I was very surprised about that, especially with, what a dental assistant would be doing with a doctor extracting teeth, doing fillings and things like that. Got comfortable pretty quick, so hygiene just made sense for me to elevate what I was actually doing in the moment.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, I was looking at the website and I noticed the first because I was the website. I will say, when we click on it, if we go to each individual, then are we seeing each individual's products and services? Is that how it works?
Yes. Yeah. So it's
Okay,
almost like an online business card. So if you click on the business owner, her platforms will pop up. So if she's got Facebook, Instagram, if she's got an online store, you can click on any of those buttons and it'll bring up the platform or the store for you.
oh, that's cool. Okay, because I only clicked on one, but I was looking at the jewelry, which is really beautiful.
Oh.
So are these made by you? Do you make those for the women of color
No,
ones?
you know what? I
Okay,
order most of the things because actually it's 9 women, and then I also have a business within the business. So I do wholesaling from wholesalers, and I usually, for the most part, try my best to make sure it's women-owned businesses and hopefully women of color, so we can support even wholesale businesses. But a lot of those things are wholesale. I think I'm saying it right.
gotcha.
But some of the business owners actually make their things. So like my candle company, that's a candle maker, and Lauren makes all of her candles. There's soy candles, Goddess Glow Botanicals. She's been in business a little over 5 years. She makes all of her skincare and her body care. So there are a lot of the business owners too that actually make their own products.
That's cool. So I just love this whole idea. The whole concept, the co-op of it. I know we didn't really say it was a co-op, but it kind of sounds like one, and you and I kind of discussed that before. But
Mm.
yeah, so this is really cool. So what would you have to say was like your biggest challenge as a business owner, and how did you overcome it?
Ooh, I think the biggest challenge is maybe holding people accountable. Not actually the business owners, but the things that people were promising us. They were like, you got your women of color. There's so many grants and opportunities and all these things out there for you. So just in our searching, we found some things, but not everything that was promised. I think that has probably been our biggest challenge. So we have decided to, make things happen for ourselves, like we had to do with Women of Color New York, where we had to create our own space and our own place. So we lean on each other a lot. We share everything. I mean, it's 10 of us, so the rent, the utilities, the security, those things. So it makes it easier, and our minds are
Mhm.
settled more because we don't have to do it all by ourselves. So I think the challenge was what people were saying would happen and could happen for us. We kind of if it happens, it's wonderful. We have gotten a couple of grants, but we know that we're in here and we need to support each other to make this thing happen. So I think it's that.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I must say, like, cause other than Jarmel, it's really been us, and then I have, a social media manager and an online editor, but it seems like, when you have more people, of course, sometimes they can be a little tricky, but just to have that support, so you
Mhm.
have others who are going through the fire with you. It's not just
Yes.
like you out there by yourself. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. And also the fact that you have been able to possibly cut down on some of your overhead because it's
Yes.
more of you all. And
Yes.
as a business owner, let me tell y'all, if you're not in business, like the overhead can really, yeah, it
Yeah.
can be a beast.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. It could definitely take you out of business. I mean, some people don't last a year because you go in maybe not with a solid plan. Hopefully, you got a solid plan, but a lot of what ifs come. I mean, there were businesses that actually closed during COVID, and we were actually starting this business during COVID, and people questioned that. And I was like, is it COVID? Is that what's happening? But we just wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page, that we knew kind of what we were getting into. We actually had a few people ask us even during COVID, and it really didn't have anything to do with COVID. Do you think, women of color can come together and make this happen? And we thought, absolutely. We're tribal. We're community. It's what we used to do. I mean, we used to nurse each other's babies, right? So why wouldn't we be
mhm.
able to come together, like-minded women? We all wanted the same thing, success for ourselves and each other, for this not to happen. So yeah, of course it can happen. Of course it can happen.
So I'm curious, like, did you did the other women apply to be a part of the program, or did you already know some of them, or how did that part work?
Well, the only person that I knew was the makeup artist because she's my niece. And since one of my daughters have joined, but all of the ladies came through someone that I either knew or knew we were opening this up and they knew me, but just people that I knew and trusted. So I went to the person and told them what we were doing as far as Women of Color New York, and asked if they like to join on board, and they said yes. I didn't get any no's. No one said no. They all, wanted to be part of Women of Color New York. I hope I sold it well. I think I did. So it's we're gonna be two in August. So I mean, we're still babies, but we're growing.
Yeah, I think you're gonna do well, especially just
Thank
having,
you.
the more, as they say, the more the merrier, and you
Hmm.
kind of have that situation around you. So, what do you all have anything planned for your 2-year anniversary, or any other events or anything coming up?
We do. We actually, for our 1 year anniversary, we had a fashion show. So we made outside a runway. So we're a makeup artist. No, I'm mental health therapist. We went from her office, so that was their dressing room. So that was fun. This year we are planning maybe to have another fashion show, since that one seemed to be pretty cool to do. We're also in September, we're doing our first fundraiser. So we're going to have a fundraiser where we're going to raise money for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So we're coming together on that. So hopefully we can sell enough tickets so we can raise the money. But every month we try and do an event. So we're going to be doing something for Mother's Day. We have Galentine's Day. So most of our, I should say, all of our events are actually um, have a nod towards women. We have Mrs. Claus come by. So we get together and we do things like that.
That's cool. And it's sweet. It's just it's cute. I like it all the same. And especially being that, like, of course I work from home, but I know as a brick and mortar, you oftentimes you have to keep inventing the wheel,
Yes.
to keep things going. So I love
Mhm.
that idea. I think that's a great concept.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you feel like we didn't discuss that you'd like to share? Any interesting random facts you might want the audience to know, or anything like that?
Well, I like everyone to go to WOCNY.com. That's Women of Color New York.com to check us out. If you live in Rochester, come and hang out with us. Sometimes it's not even, people coming in to actually buy something. Sometimes people have questions, and the questions are usually, how do you start a business? What do I do first? So we have information, and we share what we have. We have meetings once a month. So if someone hears about a grant, or if we find a new app, or if somebody's going to be in a magazine, we like to celebrate each other. And even if someone's not at Women of Color New York, actually under the umbrella, we still celebrate those ladies too. People leave business cards. If it's something that we don't have and we can, recommend that person, we absolutely do that. And I love what you're doing. I absolutely love what you're doing over at Swagger Magazine, just reaching out to other women because we're here to support each other. It's really important that we do. And I love what your magazine is doing.
Thank you so much. And I know I still got to get you a magazine sent. I'm going to do that soon.
I would
Like,
love it.
it's my printer, y'all. Like, my printer has just been holding up things, and I just refuse to go in the post office, but I have got to get that to you. So I love the concept. We would love to be in your location for people to check us out. So
Yes, that would be so nice. But yeah, I absolutely I love what women and women of color are doing. I mean, we're on the map. We're here to do our thing. We're not asking for handouts. We're not asking for things that we don't deserve. We're working hard, so we deserve, the fruits of our labor. So I think just doing what we're doing and keep doing it and pay it forward. Don't be afraid to share. I think sometimes we're coming in contact with that, and like we're not afraid to share. If there's something that we can do for anyone in the community, we do. We've done book drives. We've done collect stocks for the homeless. We just try and do as much as we can. We're there for the community, and we love how the community is, they rise up to support us. So it's amazing.
and it is amazing. And let me make certain. I have your website is womenofcolornewyork.com. Is that the right one?
Oh, it's actually, we had one that was Women of Color and then we redesigned it. So our new, it's WOCNY.com.
Okay. So guys, let me change that right quick. WLCNY.com. So you all can see that across the bottom of the screen. And if you like to get in touch with Women of Color New York, their website is, as she just said, WLCNY.com. And then their Instagram is Women of Color New York. New York is spelled out, so you guys can follow them there. And yeah, so I think that is everything I had to ask you today, Connie. But it's been great speaking with you and just learning more about like Jamel. I see him sharing the post, but I'm not on Facebook as much. But I've just oftentimes seen, okay, I was like, let me see who this is. But but I knew you were a partner. So it's been really interesting to learn more about your business and brand and just all the great things that you all are doing.
Thank you
If we
so
don't
much.
get to speak again before the anniversary, I wish you all the best of luck with that as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. When is your anniversary?
Actually July 1st. So we'll be 13 years.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Congratulations to you. Keep it going. You're doing amazing work. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
You are
And
so
thank you for
welcome.
being a guest. So I'm gonna go ahead on and let you go and you have a blessed day.
You too. Nice to talk to you, Fancy. Have a good one.
You too. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that was really good. I really hope you all will take a minute to check out Women of Color New York and just the amazing things they're doing. I didn't think to ask her while I was on, like if there are any other opportunities for others to be included in what they're doing, like to get placement within the store. But you all can always reach out to them at WOCYNY.com, or you all can follow them again at Women of Color New York. And then I'd also like to take a minute and thank our sponsor for this week, Emmett Dream Brand. Let me show their products again, guys, just for you all to check them out. So I have the Sunshine Glow Goat Milk, and then I have the Goat Milk Sunshine Bath and Shower Gel. You all can definitely shop with Emmett Dream Brand. Tell them that Swagger Magazine sent you because we appreciate them being sponsors this week, and they'll also be our sponsor for next week. And you can also learn more about that brand by visiting some of our older podcasts because Tammy Curry, the chief curator of Emmett Dream Brand, has been on with us before in the past, and she shared about it. So again, thank you all for tuning in to this CEO Chatter Live this week. We'll be back next week. I don't have a guest just yet, but if anyone's interested in being a guest, you're always welcome to apply, I guess you would say, because there is a fee unless you're invited on. But I'm always interviewing different business owners and leaders on the podcast. just sharing more about what they do in their entrepreneurial journeys. And of course, it is CEO Chatter. So, if you are a CEO, that means that you do qualify. So I just look forward to speaking with you all again next week. Peace and blessings, and have a great May. Oh, one last thing. If anybody's looking for me on social media, I am taking a fast. So everything will be streamlined through our scheduler, and you guys can always reach out to us via the website or our email at advertise@swagger.net, or you can reach out to Jarmil and let him know, send him whatever questions you may have. You can always reach us via our inbox on any of our social media networks as well. So peace and blessings, and y'all have a great week, and let's make May a great month.